All right, welcome back to episode 30, maybe? We're going to go with 30 of the Unchained podcast. To address the elephant in the room, Bodie's having some technical issues on his end. So, solo podcast from everyone's favorite host, Owen. Yeah, this could be the best episode that we've ever had, or it could very well and most likely be the worst episode we've ever had. But we're going to do it anyways. So we have the red on for the Vuelta. The Vuelta de España kicked off on Saturday. We're recording this on Tuesday, so we have stages 1 through 4 to get to. And we still have not gone to Spain yet. It is now day 4. And we're just going to go into Spain on day 5. But we'll start with stage 1. We had the 9.7 kilometer individual time trial to kick things off in Nice or Monaco. And this might have been the most technical time trial I've ever seen. Like, the whole broadcast was just turns. It was just turns. You had like 2 long straightaways, one in the tunnel within like the last 800 meters to a kilometer from the finish, and then you had one, I don't know, maybe like a kilometer into it, but really technical. Came down to the absolute wire like usual with time trials, and you had some pretty impressive riding out of a bunch of the riders. I think the biggest surprise was what's his name, Ethan Hayter, and his finish. But then, of course, we have the Mr. Untouchable just come in and win by 0.09 of a second in Tadej Pogačar, or Pogi. I mean, it's just like, you have the best ride of your life, and then Tadej just comes in and beats you. This whole tour, I'll get to it at the end, has been Tadej's tour, like every tour. But anyways, in stage 1, there was some pretty surprising performances. Like Felix Gall had a terrible individual time trial. Carapaz, not great either. Granted, he's not really a time trialist. I thought Roglic did about what he expected. I was surprised that he was the last to start. I mean, they probably just did it because he has won the Vuelta 4 times and is Mr. Vuelta. But Tadej was not last. I thought he would be. Anyways, still a great time trial. I love time trials. I think they're a ton of fun. I love it when they come out with the most ridiculous helmets and like they just go down to the very nitty-gritty of aerodynamics. I think that's a ton of fun. I thought the win by Tadej was due to his thumbs being in an aero position in a lot of it. If they had a slow motion shot of a lot of riders, their thumbs were like just bouncing all over the place. Tadej's were locked in the whole time. That seriously could have been the 0.09 of a second difference. So shout out UAE and Tadej for winning the aerodynamic game. Then we had stage 2, which was won by Matthew Brennan, who's Visma's kind of up-and-coming star. I think he's only 22 now, from Britain. It was a flat stage. So, to be honest, didn't watch this one, but I saw some highlights of the attacks done by Wout and Tadej. Those two going at it are a ton of fun to watch. I mean, they just go back and forth all the time. They're really good sports to each other. Wout is obviously a huge name in the sport and personality. It always seems like every day is his day, or could be his day, and then Tadej, of course, every day is his day, even though today's stage was won by a Visma rider and Matthew Brennan. And we had stage 3, or we didn't have stage 3, I guess we should say, because it was canceled due to hail, and like legit hail. I mean, riders were left with welts on their arms and legs. So, like, it was no joke. That ride should have been canceled probably 5-10 minutes earlier, but you never know, I guess, with the weather. Tade canceled it, though. It was ultimately his decision, is what it seemed like. He was slowing the whole peloton down about 10 minutes before they canceled. He even like waved everyone off. I mean, it's his tour. Like, when the king speaks, you listen because it's Tade. So, like, of course, everyone's going to listen to him. But just goes to show you, you never know what the Vuelta is going to give you, because the Vuelta is the chaos grand tour of them all. And you'll have a day like today with massive hail out of nowhere and just completely derail a stage. A bunch of the riders just kind of tucked away in this hotel, and that hotel is now being flooded with 5-star reviews. So that's kind of cool. You know, support a local small business. It could be like maybe it's a family-run hotel, and now they're getting a bunch of cool reviews and some fame and popularity. So shout out to that hotel that housed all the riders for the entire duration of the hailstorm. I think if I was in a hailstorm riding, I would probably just quit the whole tour, because that's not worth it. That just sounds like one of the worst things ever. I don't know if I'd rather ride in 105-degree weathers in the Tour de France or a softball-sized hailstorm in the Vuelta. Both seem horrible. So shout out the riders for toughening up. Then we had stage 4 today, which Tade's tour, once again, he went out and just kicked everyone's butt with a 50-kilometer finish or solo attack to finish off the race. Bodie and I were talking about this earlier in the week. Like, neither of us thought Tade was going to take this tour, you know, by the handlebars and just go away and ride with it. Like, what does he have to prove, sort of thing? You know, everyone knows he's the best. He can go out and win any stage he wants. And, like, I don't know, he just doesn't have anything to prove at this point. But then, of course, on a stage that I didn't think he would really try that hard, especially it's so early in the tour, he goes and wins by 2.5 minutes. And wins in a dominant fashion. A lot of his classic races are more this style, where he goes with a long breakaway, you know, a 60-kilometer. I think he's even done an 80-kilometer breakaway. This time it was 50. And it's not like this was just a flat or hilly breakaway. This was some Cat 1 climbs, some big climbs that he was breaking away at. Felix Gall stayed with him for about 500 meters and then was gone in the blink of an eye. Next thing we know, he has a 1.5-minute lead. One thing I love about Tade breakaways is he goes and he keeps pounding. You know, he doesn't just go up and get like a minute lead and hold that. He keeps on going until maybe like 3 kilometers to go, and then he'll kind of take his foot off the gas pedal. So he always makes it fun, you know. But on the flip side, like when he goes, there's no catching him. It's not even going to come close. Other than that, the race for second was actually a really good race. We had pretty much all of the top riders in there. It was Carapaz, Gall, Roglic had a phenomenal day. He looked like he was his old form in prime Roglic. Who else was up there? Skelmos was up there a little bit. We also had Gregor Mühlberger. Shout out him. He was more in the back of the pack, but still in there. Oscar Onley in there as well, and Enric Mas. So really competitive from the second place ride. Carapaz didn't have the best day, and I think a lot of the riders in the front picked up on that and then really pushed it in the last 10 kilometers or so, because he's a guy that you have to look out for both the KOM and the GC. Like, Tade's untouchable. It's a race for second place. Carapaz has the best chance to get second place. So if you're someone like Onley and Gall, you have to basically kick Carapaz while he's down. Because if you don't, later in the stages, he's going to come back. He's going to win those big climbs in, you know, stages 16 and up. And he's going to eat 4 minutes in one stage on you. So you have to get ahead of him, because he's just that talented of a rider. I mean, we saw it in the Tour. Those last 2 stages were his. I mean, he just destroyed everyone but Tade, of course, and really took the tour over to close it out. So that's pretty much the synopsis of the Vuelta. As usual, you never know what to expect in the Vuelta. You have a hail day, you have a really technical time trial. But this tour, there is one thing that has remained steadfast, and that's Tadej Pogačar. He runs the show. He's in charge of it. If it's Monday, Tadej wins it. If it's Friday, Tadej wins it. If it's 8 in the morning, if it's sunny out, whatever, Tadej will win the stage. He's going to win the tour. It's whatever. I mean, we run out of superlatives for him at this point because it's just that impressive. But there was an equally as impressive thing done this weekend. And it was between Bodie and I. So we took upon the challenge of, I don't even know the name of it. I don't know if there is a name for it. But we did this challenge where 50 was the number. And we're a team. And we have to reach 50 between miles ran and beers drank. I like to say, drink responsibly and safely beforehand. Know your limits and everything. But if you're going to do it, this is a super fun way to do it. So, if you're following on the Unchained Cycling Instagram stories, we were posting on there on our updates and everything. So 50 was the goal between the two of us. We could divide it however we wanted. I think we had a pretty good strategy going into it where we're basically going out and doing a long run. And okay, so we do our long run and then you drink the beer. That was pretty much our strategy. There was some beers consumed during the long run. So for example, I did 20 miles. And so I did an 8 mile out and back, had a beer. 8 miles out and back, had a beer. 4 miles, then I was done. Oh, I had a beer to start. So once I was done with my long run, I had 23 already done. Bodie did a similar strategy. He did 10 miles, and he might have had like 2 in between his loops. So he was closer to maybe like 15, if I'm remembering right, when he was done with the running. And then after that, it's just the race against the clock to finish in beer. So it was 30 miles, of running between the two of us, and then 20 in beer to finish it out. Overall, ton of fun. We did it in 5 hours. That was like our over-under that we had set. And we did it in 4:58. So right at where we predicted, which I thought was pretty impressive that we were able to predict that. We definitely could do it faster. It'd be difficult, but towards the end we lost focus a little bit. So I think our new goal next time maybe would be like 4:30, something like that. But ton of fun. Do it safely if you're going to do it. Do it responsibly. Either way, yeah, a lot of fun. It's big time. So yeah, like I said, that was more impressive than any of Tadej's wins. I don't know if Tadej could have done that in the 82-degree heat that we were running in and drinking Busch Light. Really tough. Besides that, I don't think there's a lot else going on in the cycling world. I almost got by a AI transfer rumor of Roglic going back to Visma. Nope, didn't fall for it this time. He's going to Lotto, which we talked about on last week's show. What else? What else is new? I don't know. I think that's kind of about it. We got more Vuelta coming up, obviously. Yeah, so I hope this was a good episode. Trying to fill time here. A solo podcast is actually really difficult to do, but I feel like I've kind of done a pretty good job. We're almost at 15 minutes here, so it's pretty good, right? Yeah, on that note, Stay in touch and keep rolling. Peace.